Okay, we're live. Excellent. So, good afternoon. This is Greg Gloria, aka Social Greg on Twitter for the Nerdstalker Media Network. Today I'm pleased to speak with Brad Davis, the CEO and founder of HashtagSell, and Devin McKinney, the VP of Marketing of HashtagSell. And I met these guys when we were at the SF NewTech event just last week, and I saw their service, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of report back on what they feel online classifieds 2.0 should be, which means you can now forget about your Craigslist listings. So quickly about Brad. He's been in the IT space for many years, from the Apple Genius Bar, believe it or not, to big companies like Genentech, Capgemini, and as an IT consultant and developer. So he's really technical. And then Devin McKinney, he's done it all, my friends. He's been in the financial space. He's done one of the first ebooks, he told me, offline, and he's serving as the VP of Marketing, and I met him as well at the SF NewTech event. So anyway, hey, good afternoon, Brad and Devin. Thanks for joining us here on NerdStalk Live from San Francisco, right?
Yeah. Greg, thanks for having us.
Oh, no, it's great. So, let's get into this. Let's talk about HashtagSell. In a nutshell, tell the NerdStalker audience what HashtagSell is.
Yeah, HashtagSell is a web application that enables you to search just like you would on Google, and you get results from all over the internet, from eBay and Cars.com and Craigslist, all in one page. And it looks kind of like Pinterest when the results come in. When you want to sell something, you type in, I have a hashtag television for $, whatever your amount is, at, and then your address where you want to sell it, and you click post. And it'll post back out to Craigslist, to eBay, and eventually we won't be pushing out to Craigslist and eBay. We'll only be pushing out to like Facebook and Twitter to really get a lot of eyeballs on your product. But right now we're going to be pushing out to Craigslist and to eBay and a number of other platforms. So we want to change online classifieds for the better. Online payments, real-time notification systems, and just a really easy way to find all the classifieds out there. So.
Nice. So, I mean, how did you guys come up with this idea? I mean, was it just kind of like out of frustration of selling something that you wanted to sell, or how did you guys come up with this?
Yeah, it's a true story, and probably for most people, but I've lived in San Francisco for 10 years. I've moved 8 times. Every time I move, it's such a pain to find apartments and filter them, and then to contact the landlord. When I moved to my new apartment, I had to sell something, and I had this really shady, weird guy coming over to my house to buy it, and I had to hand him cash. And it was basically the whole buy-sell experience. It scared me, especially like my new apartments, And so I thought there's got to be a way to optimize this and make it better. And that was about 2 years ago, I would say, and it was just the idea was bouncing around in my head. And I started building it about a little over a year and a half ago, and it's kind of been a side project, and now it's really ramping up. So
wow.
Yeah.
So are you pretty much almost full time on this now?
I am full time on this. This is my choice. I've set down my corporate work, and I'm sitting in our awesome house, and Devin's in Portland and sometimes in San Francisco. He's traveling everywhere. I'm working on this full time. We all are.
Wow, that's excellent. So I mean, so how long it took you part time to develop this? Like 6 months or something like that?
Yeah. So originally it was just part time, and it was like nights and weekends, really late nights. And then the product really started to take shape, and I was showing it to friends, and they were like, this is really awesome, like I would use this. And then I met Devin, and Devin connected me with one of his longtime friends who's really a heavy hitter in Silicon Valley. Devin maybe talk more about him, and they were like, you need to focus on this, we're gonna make this happen, so here we are.
So how did I'm always curious, especially when you get co-founders. How did you guys kind of meet, and how did you get hooked up? I mean, this must be interesting.
Yeah, it started actually. It's a family connection. I was living in after I did the first ebook. I took a couple of years and lived in Rome, Italy, and was doing some web design out there actually for the United Nations, and good grief, I was doing working for a film company, actually doing translating screenplays, and I actually acted in a movie as a zombie.
So you can't, everyone out there, you can't make this stuff up, obviously.
No, exactly. So there I was there, and his mom, actually, Brad's mother, actually came to Rome for 2 months, and I met her, and we hit it off, and I helped her, meet some Italian people, and she was learning the language. Then when I came back to the States in 2003, I joined a startup with Andrew Preston, who is the CFO of HashtagSell. He and I had done the ebook together at Softbook. So we brought Brad in. I recommended that we bring Brad in as an intern in 2004. And that worked out really well. And he was doing the Genius Bar thing after that and Genentech. So we'd already met. And this is how Silicon Valley works. No matter how many people get into the game, it's still about how do you know people and what have you done in the past and who. So it just worked out that when Brad brought me in, I think it's 9 months ago now, to look at what he had then, I said, well, if you get this high, I will make the introductions to some people that can help this thing really take off. If we can get the product to there's a certain number of things you need to have before you can really get people's attention, whether it's investors or programmers. And I knew what that was from my experience. So I helped Brad get that software ready and you pretty much saw the outcome. We demoed it to Andrew Preston a month and a half ago, and when Brad and I worked out, it's ready, and now Andrew's engaged. He's actively seeking funding. We got somebody from the SF New Tech who showed up, and they may become a biz dev person. And now it's about the chicken and egg. But that's how it started. That's how we met, was family, friends, and then I hired him. Now he's hired me.
Wow,
full circle, right?
Totally full circle. Yeah. So you mentioned earlier, Brad, that you're gonna probably push out to eBay and I guess Craigslist. Is that going to be through API methods, or does Craigslist have an API? I was kind of curious about that.
Really good question. So firstly, eBay does have an API, and we can push out to them. We'll be using Twitter's API to turn your #sell ads into Twitter ads. We'll be using the same thing for Facebook. When it comes to Craigslist, we'll have to do something creative. Airbnb did something very similar to this. And basically it says, okay, you want to push it to Craigslist, that's great. Let us, #sell, walk you through the steps to do it. And we'll make it as easy as possible. But you're going to have to click that button in order to publish it, because Craigslist doesn't have an API. And they don't want they don't want automated posts to their system. And this is kind of something else I shake my head at a little bit, I mean, all I'm really helping doing is populating their database with a bunch of stuff, and all the sales are going to occur on Craigslist anyway. So, it's kind of a shame that we have to go that route, but we'll be creative, and I want people to type one sentence to sell something on #sell, and it just goes everywhere, and it feeds everyone right back into the product, and, in the long term, #sell is the place to be.
Well, I agree with you. I think with the hot apartment market, housing market here in San Francisco, just with all the people trying to get into the city, any kind of advantage they could get, either it's with #sell or something else, is going to be a good thing, I think. So.
Yeah, just to be clear, I mean, like Live Lovely is doing apartments, and they're doing it wonderfully, in my opinion. And then there's Airbnb, of course, and there's a number of other niche web apps out there, startups. We try to do everything at #sell. I don't care if you're looking for Barbie dolls or hula hoops or,
or dolphins.
You can find everything there. So we're not just we're not focusing on niche. We want to buy and sell everything.
I mean, and that's really what Craigslist is, but that's, as you said, I think on the SF New Tech stage, that seems like that's online classifieds 1.0. This is online classifieds 2.0 now, right?
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. So I know, let's just move on to, I mean, how big's your team? Is it just you three?
We have 4 people, and they are full-time, all 4 of us. Then we have some interns. I have one intern that's doing some development for us on the side, and we're already actively looking for full-stack JavaScript developers So if you know Express.js or Node.js or Mongo, that's basically our entire software stack. And we're looking for funding. So it's 4 full-time, 1 intern, and we're growing.
Wow. Wow. So it looks like, I guess to implement the rest of the product roadmap, you'll need a little bit of funding, right?
Yeah. Basically, it's a question of time, right? And there's a time to market aspect to this. We're not. Some people are painting us as a Craigslist killer, but in fact, I think we're actually not even in that ballpark. They haven't even tried to do 90% of what our product roadmap has on it. So, in the sense of adding, so we just want to get to there faster and get that critical mass of users. And I think that if you can imagine people that their attics are full of stuff that they're not selling on Craigslist, right? That Craigslist has its X amount of difficulty and X amount of people that trust it and whatever that is. But if you imagine all those, instead of, and I've got this idea of an ad campaign actually, where you go up to your attic and you see dollar signs, right? That's just pure money sitting there.
That's great video.
Everybody, the Y Combinator guys said this. They said whoever cracks this nut is going to be successful. It goes way beyond what Craigslist vision is. It goes to all that money moving, all the things moving, and a community of people that really, it's like there's swap sites and barter sites and moving stuff around. It's not, people want to make money. They want to get their sofa more easily. They want to move around and have an easier time of buying and selling stuff. So we're just trying to facilitate that.
Well, I think one of the issues when I look at the Craigslist thing, and maybe that's why they can't get an API off the ground, is it's kind of it's a free service, right? So how do you guys monetize on your end? Is it ad monetized or?
Yeah, so Craigslist, make no mistake, they're anywhere between 150 to 300 million dollars on any given year. They are making money, and they're doing it by charging for certain categories. When you create a job, for example, and they have so many users that they can make some pretty good money off it, even though they're a nonprofit. So our revenue stream is not going to be anything like that. We're going to be using notifications. So when you want to buy something, we'll notify you as soon as it's available. And we think people will pay a couple cents to be notified a couple hundred times. We want people to build HashtagSell stores. So remember we were talking earlier about farmers markets, right? So if you're at a farmer's market and you sell all this stuff in the real world, I want you to create a virtual store that represents your inventory, and I want you to be able to sell it online. And when you're at the farmer's market, you can tell people, all my paintings are also available on HashtagSell, and they can buy it there. We'll have an internal payment system, so that when transactions occur, we'll take a small percentage of the transaction. We're thinking of using the Stripe API or the Braintree API. And there's a number of other revenue streams, really. This is an e-commerce, it's a marketplace, right? If you can't make money off this idea, then something's wrong.
Another way to put it is we're not going to charge more than Craigslist for what Craigslist provides.
No, yeah,
when we're going to add more benefit, and our revenue stream is going to be based on adding orders of magnitude more benefit. So people will pay, cents for that. It's not a lot of money, but we're going to make it so much more useful and so much more integrated into Facebook ads, Twitter ads, Pinterest. You pay, if Facebook charges us $5 to post an ad, we might charge you $5.03 to post that ad.
Okay.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, sure.
And it's definitely a volume deal. But the idea is that we want to attach benefits to what we charge, so that people are getting much more than they can get from any current classified systems.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because when you guys are describing this to me, it kind of reminds me of eBay meets Craigslist in a way.
Exactly. It is. The Clash of Titans, or it's peanut butter and chocolate, right? These things that people want. So many people have a bad experience with Craigslist, but they have no better alternative.
Yeah, no, right? I got that. Wow.
Well, I think, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
our initial goal here is not to make money, right? We just want to change online classifieds for the better. I like to be the guy that tells all the other potential investors to stop worrying about that at the moment. The idea is to get as many people as possible excited about it, actively using it. We can figure out money later, and we will. But that's not the immediate goal. It's to create an awesome product that's anyone can use.
Yeah, Devin, let's get back to that. I think, you had mentioned earlier that, you told Brad, hey, once you get to a certain level, I could get in the game. Now, I think a lot of startups deal with this in terms of especially a user-based service like yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to track investment, maybe you could give some of the people who really listen to our channel, especially our startups, I know it varies per startup and per the finance model that you've done, but can you give people out there some idea that, like, once you come up with your idea, you've now alphaed it and you're ready to beta it, what level of users should you expect before you could start knocking on guys to ask for money?
Great question. There's a couple of dimensions, a couple of factors that affect how soon you can go. Well, one is when you need to, right? And maybe it's not appropriate yet, because as soon as you start looking for money, you're going to give away company. You're going to give away equity at some level, and that's always a trade-off. Do you go to angels? Do you go to VCs? They want a bigger piece. But so there's two things. One is what you have, right? They look at what you have. They also look at the team. Investors, and I'm talking smart investors. Angels may invest in you because they believe they're your next door neighbor, right? But often they're getting smarter too. They look at what you have to offer and whether they believe it's going to happen, and that depends on your offer and the team. So it's two things, right? If you have a great team, like this guy who founded Twitter, or was one of the PayPal mafia's, prize pupils, right? That guy's going to get funded earlier in the process.
Yeah.
We may have, with my background, I have a certain, credibility. We are at a certain point where we're ready to do it. But when people are looking at how to get funding, they really have to look at themselves. My old boss used to say, naked in the mirror, right? How much can we prove it? We don't want to have another, .com where we're predicting eyeballs, right? And have it be this kind of vapor kind of thing. But we believe in it, like where we are with HashtagSell. There's a real need here. So you're looking at the balance. So
I see.
Who's the team? How good is the offer? And frankly, a lot they look for proof points. So your audience can think about that. What proof points do I have besides my belief or my mom's belief that I'm going to be a hit, right? Those are great. Really, you're looking for, we passed out 1,000 flyers and 100 people signed up, and 75 of them are still using the software 2 months later. And they have all told 50 people about it. So you have some proof points, real use, or whatever it is. You look for the things where it's undeniable. And that's what, whether it's an intelligent angel investor or a venture capitalist, they're looking for real performance at a certain level.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's not the same as 1995, right? People do want more at this point, but they will invest. There's still money. I think at the heart of it, I was watching the internet grow and grow, and I was doing web design in 1998, 99, and I kept saying, why do people keep building these web applications when there's no, and pets.com or whatever it was, right? I worked on Webvan. I mean, I worked on some of the biggest flops as well. So I've gone the whole gamut. And I think that people want to believe.
Interesting. So
They
I
want
guess that's what,
to have faith. They want to bet on the underdog. They want to find the diamond in the rough. The deal at the thrift store.
Yeah.
But in terms of investing in startups, they
Well,
want.
I was just talking to someone yesterday I was interviewing, and he brought up the same point, maybe from a different angle. I think that's why he feels crowdfunding is taking off.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as you just talked about.
Because you're tapping into that and giving them a light way to throw a dime or a dollar or whatever it is into something. And
Yeah.
you're actually getting the read on the marketplace, right?
Yeah.
So
it's good.
Going the crowdfunding route, I mean, it's a really natural way to generate a proof point that says people like what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
and we're definitely looking at that for ourselves, definitely. So
That's good. Okay. Well, I think we've done it here. It's good. Let's close off the interview. So how do people get started with HashtagSell? They're out there in our audience.
Yeah, so we built all your viewers a access code. So go to hashtagsell.com and use the code NerdStalker. And so yeah, it's kind of exclusive right now, right? Not everyone can access the product, but your viewers can. So spread the word.
Yeah, and
thank you so much.
Let me when they go and if they're not logged in, click on Activate Beta Account.
Yeah.
And they can put in their information, and then there's an early access code field, and they just type NerdStalker into that field.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, we got it. All right. Well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate that for joining us here. I think and introducing your product to the NerdStalker audience. So anyway, I appreciate that. That was Brad Davis, CEO and co-founder of HashtagSell with the other co-founder, the VP of Marketing, Devin McKinney. So this is Greg Gloria, aka Social Greg on Twitter for the NerdStalker Media Network, where we believe in tech, startups, design, and you. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and be careful out there. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate you very much.
Thanks.
All right. Talk to you later.